This, to me at least, has the potential to be one of the best GoPro releases, at least since the Hero 7. Hey, how you doing? What's the story? There is a brand new GoPro coming, the GoPro Hero 13. No surprises there. We probably guessed it's always around the same time the leaks start happening, which we're going to get into a sec. But we're not only getting one new GoPro. Here's something that threw me for a loop. We are getting two GoPros, and they're very different. Let's dive in. This is not the GoPro Hero 13. This is actually what's been called, if the leaks are true, the GoPro Hero. So it's a mini GoPro. We've had these mini types of GoPros in the past, but look at this. Look at this grill on the front. To me, this is most definitely something that's going to help with dissipating all of the heat from the GoPro. So those annoying overheating, random shutdowns and all that kind of jazz, that should disappear with this. Even the screen on the back looks pretty cool. And what you can see here is what's in the actual box. It's got the usual standard GoPro mount. We've got a USB-C to USB-C cable, which I think is one of the first times they've ever had that in the box. I think the lens, it looks a little bit smaller. Now, these are only kind of renders, so it's quite hard to figure out. So it's definitely not like a GoPro Hero 12. Obviously, it's a cut-down sensor that they usually have in the smaller ones. You just don't know. Obviously, the price point is going to be a little bit cheaper on this, but to me, this looks really cool. I gotta be honest, I thought it was some like AI gen thing because it just looks kind of... there's something off about it, but by all accounts, this was all listed on GoPro's homepage on one of the Amazon stores. It looks really accessible. The one thing I'll say at the bottom here, you don't have like the 1/4-inch thread where you could screw in a tripod, which is, to me, is a bit weird because it's in the other one. I don't know why they have it out. Maybe it's a size thing. We've got a button on the side, which obviously we can see the Bluetooth icon there as well. So that's probably going to link. We've got a nice little red light up there. I think this is a really nice looking little GoPro. There's no great specs around this. I do know it is going to shoot 4K. Like in the current market, there's no point not shooting 4K. But yeah, I gotta say, I just love the look of this, right? It looks really, really cool. Let me know in the comments what you think about this GoPro Hero. Now, let's move on to the biggie, the GoPro Hero 13. This has got something that's just nuts. First thing that we see here about the GoPro Hero 13, I'm going to struggle with these two hitches all day, is the fact that it's kind of hard to see in the photos, but just underneath the insane lens, which looks bonkers, but we're going to get that in a sec, you have what seems to be like a little grill as well, similar to the GoPro Hero. This is something else that's going to help with heat dissipation, I'm guessing. So that's a big plus, because for me, where I live, I don't really struggle with things overheating because we're in Ireland, and it's, yeah, anyway. For some folks, overheating is a big issue for GoPros, especially when you're shooting in the higher frame rates like the 4Ks or the 5.3, or you're doing 120 frames per second. That can be a big deal, but there's a little grill there, which is good. Now, let's jump on to the lens, which I'm really excited about this, but before we all get too excited, this is a macro lens. Now, a macro lens will allow you to shoot stuff up really, really close, which I'm kind of going, okay, that's fine. Is there a bigger sensor on the GoPro? Again, the Hero 13, we know absolutely no stats. You can take the stats from the Hero 12, the specs there rather, and that's what you are going to essentially get at a minimum. Now, will they bounce up to 8K? I know Insta360 have been pushing 8K. You have the DJI Action 5 in hands of creators right now, as I'm sure this Hero 13 is as well. Hi GoPro. Depending on the specs of the Action 5, it's going to be interesting to see, will we just be stuck with 5.3K? Will we have 5.3K 120? I doubt it. I doubt it. See, THs are all over the place. I wonder, and here's what I'm thinking, right? Because if you look at the lens mod, this macro lens, and there's also an ultra wide lens mod that you can get. I mean, they look really beefy. They remind me of some of the Insta360 stuff. That leads me to believe there might be a little bit of a bigger sensor, okay? The other thing that would lead me to believe is there's maybe a little bit more oomph here on this GoPro Hero 13 is the grill, right? The way it's going to get rid of the heat, this heat sink. Does that imply that there is a bigger sensor? I'm not sure. Can they squeeze much more out of the current chipset? I don't know. I'm not an engineer, but These bigger lenses would say maybe there's a bigger sensor. There's also a bunch of accessories that were listed on one of these Amazon stores. Like you have the floaty case, you have the two lenses, as I've said, you have a protective sleeve, which is standard GoPro stuff. Then there is a magnetic latch ball joint mount, which can be very useful depending on what you're doing. And then there's also the GoPro magnetic latch mount, which is $24.99. And looks very similar to what the DJI mounts were. All these I'm so excited. No, not. All of these magnetic mounts are quite similar. I know DJI were probably the first out of the gate with those, and I think maybe the Action 2, and they're a really good mount. Anyway, that's what you're looking at. Now, if we look at the dates that are here, these mounts are shipping by Monday, September 16th, which probably means that a brand new GoPro is coming by then. Will these new GoPros be the best GoPro ever? I don't know really, to be honest. Nobody does until all the specs leak, at least, and we can see what it's capable of. But this is gearing up to be probably one of the best GoPro releases in quite some time. Yes, the GoPro Hero 13 does not reinvent the wheel from the body perspective, but these lens mods, as I said, maybe there's a little bit of a bigger sensor there. That might certainly indicate that this is definitely a big step up. And in my opinion, GoPro really does need to do something to kind of shake the kind of action camera tree a little bit more, because DJI have been catching up big time with the Action 4 and the 5 that's coming, or 6 or 7 or however far they are ahead. The GoPro Hero, the small one, that looks really cool. I think the design of that alone is stunning. And again, the downfall of all of these cameras is they overheat really quickly. But if this little heatsink fixes all of that, then we are in for an exciting time for GoPro cameras. And if that lens mount, if that lens is accessible to other manufacturers, which I do not see any reason why it wouldn't be, because GoPro's can be pretty flexible on all the stuff that they allow people to use. You could have all different types of lenses for this. There could be anamorphic lenses. There could, the list goes on and on and on and on. You know, so you can see the likes of Freewell or Ulanzi developing stuff for this. This, to me, at least, has the potential to be one of the best GoPro releases, at least since the Hero 7. I think that was pivotal. Hypersmooth, obviously we're going to get another version of Hypersmooth. Stabilization is bonkers. It's really good. I say this every year, I can't see how they're going to make it better, but for some reason they're actually able to make it better. Let me know what you think of these new GoPros in the comments. And in the meantime, check out this video because you will absolutely love it, according to YouTube. See you in the next one.